Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Castlevania in the stream. Hope y'all are doing well. I am all right for the most part. If you're watching this now, thank you for joining me. If you're watching this later, thank you so much for joining me after this. And I hope you enjoyed the stream. Today is kind of weird. I'm not feeling like my usual self, but hopefully this will help me change my mind. We're doing Guarded OG. It's gonna be the bar. Um, Maybe we'll have some people join us up later. Oop. I didn't get the mana out. Damn it. Oh well. It could be a lot worse. It really could. Let's see what kind of cape we got today. Ooh, okay. Kind of like it. Oh, yeah. Not bad stats. What? Missed the jump. Missed start. Okay. It's not bad, I guess. I didn't mean to teabag. Guy was amazing, apparently. Kind of digging that jam. Not gonna lie. I don't think I got any. There we go. Still no drops from them recently. Okay, rip the left. That's nice. Well, that sucks. I couldn't get that going. Well, I got a fairy card, so that's good. Depends if it's a resist ice, right? Yeah.
fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, growing up, every face, no privacy. And silently, we could build and build until you finally see. Whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders. Like moving boulders just to get out of the home. It sucks, I've had enough, I don't wanna feel the stuff under the rug, all my problems that I shove. I got nightmares in my head, I fear. Thoughts build up until I can't hear. But my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear. Thoughts build up until I can't hear. But my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's inside for me. But that's the really real anxiety can foggy all this stuff. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough.
I need to get a new controller.
It sucks when you finally feel like giving up. Oh God, no love. Everything feels like it's sticky stuck. I'm lost, handcuffed to the bed where I sleep. Don't give a fuck, can't stop. Unplugged, feeling overwhelmed. I think I've had enough. Gotta find a way to get some energy. Gotta find someone who's a good friend of me. I need purpose to make it all worth it. I'm still searching and I'm still learning. I want a life that's filled with memories, not a life with a bread in front of me.
Welcome everybody. If you're joining me just now, we're doing a randomizer for the OG preset. Then we'll be going to something else. Don't know what it is yet. Fuck it. Reach. Forget both transformation. Wait, I got fairy card. I can do the fairy shop glitch.
Your word is
Welcome everybody in chat. I hope you're enjoying it. Lucky hit. I do like today's cape. It's pretty. I need to pause real quick. There we go. Sorry about that.
There is something funny about this wall.
Let's go. This is gonna be a lot quicker when I have to pick up holy glasses. There we go. Hang on 1 second. I think someone's at my door. Be right back. I'm back. That was weird. Oh, come on. So all we need to really get is gold ring.
feed him. If you come for me, I'm ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take my time with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste of blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing. So cold, behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart, or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need it, face when my mind starts feeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up, got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times, cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. I ain't gonna give up, got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times, cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'm a big fine, need time, and I'll still be winning. I'm big fine, for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'm a big fine, need time, and I'll still be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, you know I'm gonna feed them. If you come for me, be ready for a demon. Life is a nuisance, tired snoozing. I try to be human, find a solution, my evolution. A place like this, it didn't exist, you made it like this. So you can go pick the bad or the good, got a glass halfway. I know, it's easier to hide than just to lay low. Not everyone in life has got a halo. I'm standing in the road outside a payphone, just wanna break, no. I'm not gonna give in, take a last shot, Michael J. Wayne. No, not a robot, I'm in my own skin. Never get lost without you in. I'm Mr. Yo with you, we die with a purpose. How to get a deal around me, felt nervous. Scared I would pop off fast to the surface. Had to cut it off before you made me worthless. Torn apart, I've been torn and scarred. I had to give it up, now I'm thinking smart. I'm keeping up my guard, I'm hiding every card. I wore a flash of love, you never know what's hard. With a back to the mat, gonna see where I'm at. I'ma fight like a man, I'm a beast in the night. They can never beat me, nice try, but they'll see I achieve everything. Always stay salty. I
Ugh. heart and ring. I can't believe my show ran out. Oh, excuse me. Not my fastest time, but it's gonna end around 1:15. Game. Actually, that was like 112. Alright, y'all enjoy the music. I'll be right back while I start the next game.
So you made it.
Alucard,
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me. An open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round. Welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly. Thoughts jumbled round, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative. I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win. I'll take a stab, I wanna chase a bag. I wanna weigh, I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch. I'll give up everything. If I could see my dreams, things could turn to anything. Make what I want a reality. Don't make up. I'll make things could turn to anything. Make what I want a reality.
I just wanna find a way out, sick of the venom in my brain. Running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this. I just wanna break these chains. Always destined for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many once, I just so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but on my downfall is toxic. Day ones turn into outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted. Created a legacy off of me, just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.
I'll give up everything. If I can see my dream, things cause I'll do anything. Want a reality. I'll give up everything. If I can see my dreams, things cause I'll do anything. Want a reality. Don't make up. I'll make things cause I'll do anything. Make what I want a reality.
And I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's get that tuned down a little bit. Ah. Damn, it's taking a while for this to load up today. Ooh, hiccups, excuse me. All right. We need to. No. 2 more heist battlegrounds. Give it. Okay, so I need to get to my other characters and get their seasonal armor. Yeah. Ugh.
Assessment. Braincheck futurescape is threatened. Response. Guardian deployed.
Guardian, I need those cleared so I can tap into the network. I left Guardian. Literally. Death tongue spotted. Target that acolyte, Guardian. The Hive are sending an ogre.
Okay.
We'll need to open up the campus again. Open sesame. The perimeter towers ahead are back online and reading you as hostile. Mind your steps. Perimeter towers in range. Stay hidden, Guardian. Eyes up, Guardian. Literally.
Well, that was fun.
Moving back to a holding pattern. Good luck. Hive aren't switching up their strategy. What's that saying you used to like, Elsie? If at first you don't succeed, try again. Spot on. Though I might have taken it too literally. Secure what we can of Charlemagne Guardian and slip away safely.
Perimeter secure.
There we go.
Mara, any further movement on the Rathborn side?
No, Zivor Roth is still, like a tiger crouched in the reeds, waiting. But I can feel the promise of violence in the air.
Little near.
Alright, Guardian. This is a smash and grab. Smash some hive, grab a chunk of submine.
And live to tell the tale.
Roth's battle song emboldens her soldiers. End it.
Hatch opening and setting that perimeter tower to friendly. You're welcome.
The sea of screams churns with gnashing teeth around Luna. Our enemies are drawn to our presence.
The hive, the scorn, their numbers seem endless, but we're used to finding victory against the odds. Let's get that submined, Guardian.
Fly me to the moon. Let me play against the stars.
Chris.
Hey,
You
what's up, dude?
slinging son of a gun.
What's up, Derek?
Oh, I was just coming by to say you a gunslinging son of a gun. And also that you have a ligma.
Remind me to lick my balls later.
I got 'em, good guys.
Thank you. I appreciate that. What you up to this
Alright.
morning?
I'm gonna have myself some soup.
Some soup?
Some soup. So my griddler I use to cook my patties, I think there's some grease or something that got in on the inside where I can't clean it, because I've made it as spotless as can be everywhere I can get to, and it keeps smoking every single time I use it. So the easy solution would normally be to just cook outside, but I live in North Dakota, so that's not an option. So I'm gonna try and take it apart eventually, but the few screwdrivers I had either weren't of the right size, or I just couldn't get enough of a grip on it without tearing the skin on my fingers. So I think I've bought some rubber gloves, so maybe that'll help me get around that.
Probably.
But in the meantime, it's just like, okay, I guess I can't cook my meat the way I want it to, nice and quick. So what'll we do with that meat before it goes bad? We make soup. So there we go. We got some nice soup. Got some brown rice. I got some potatoes. I got some celery, and then lots of salt, and of course the meat. And it's been good soup so far. It's warming back up.
That sounds good.
Yep.
And this is a
I'm
pan
excited
that's
for it.
smoking now?
So it's a griddler / panini press type of a dealio, where basically you'd have the meat on it, which is a hot surface, and then you have another hot surface you place on top of the meat, and it just gently presses it, not to the point where like it actually like flattens it, 'cause it's not that heavy. I kind of wish it was a bit heavier, but it is what it is, right? And then it cooks both sides of the meat. Is that's what I usually do, is because then you could just have a really quick burger patty, right? You go and make your burger patties ahead of time, which I can usually do in bulk, or at least 8 at a time, so I can save time. And then when it comes to cooking them, I just throw one of those on there for like 10 minutes, and then bada bing, bada boom, there you go. I've got a nice, like, I don't know, 900 calorie meal. Somewhere in there.
Counting calories?
That's not true. Well, in the past I did. Right now, not so much. Right now, I know I'm not eating normally as I'm not eating nearly as much as I should be. But it is what it is.
I really do hate snipers.
I guess I should clarify. I count calories because I don't tend to eat enough. I try and hit certain thresholds, basically, to keep myself healthy. Otherwise, I become a skeleton and I die. It's not counting calories to lose weight. It's the opposite. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, it did.
But yeah, that's what's going on with the griddler. So I got me some soups, and we'll see how long it takes for me to get tired of that. That'll correspond with however long it takes for me to cook the sorry, not cook, fix the machine. So that's it. I'm gonna eat soup. I'm thinking what I'm probably gonna do today. I don't know if I'm gonna stream it or not. I don't think I will. But I'm gonna finish up a Billy Blink Mage.
Billy Blink. Oh, so you're
the relict character, and then I think I'm gonna put together a video going over like what the character creation in that game looks like and what the character can do. Just real quick as like a little example, because there's been some people asking for that kind of content. At least within the Relict community and those people that were curious about the system. So ideally, it's just another step that, okay, well, I've covered the core rules. That's what, in my opinion, is most approachable. So second most approachable thing is, what do the characters look like? How are the classes structured, right? So that's something I could show off, and ideally not take 2 hours. I'm hoping to keep it around like 10 minutes,
I
but
hope it takes
that
2
might not be
hours.
realistic.
I hope it takes 2 hours.
It's probably gonna take 30 minutes, but we'll see.
Well, good luck with that.
Yep.
I wish you all the
Um,
best. So what's this up
past
with Dungeon Magazine?
yeah, yep. Past that little thing for relics because I should be able to knock that out right quick. I wanna cover Dungeon Magazine issues. It seems like once I get into the groove of things and I understand what I'm doing with the show and whatnot, it seems like something I could knock out in a week per.
Okay.
So I think getting one out every 2 weeks is probably a pretty good goal starting out because I do know that like, yeah, I need to. I'm not quite there yet in terms of being able to knock this thing out weekly. And that also lets me be loose and be able to do stuff like for the relic system. And I've got a few other ideas, but basically it's just like okay, well, the goal here is to be able to inspire creatives, right?
Right.
And something that tends to be inspiring to me as a creative, as far as dungeoneering and adventure writing goes, is reading well other dungeons, other adventures, and seeing what sort of elements there are to steal. By steal, I don't mean copy paste. By steal, I mean that you can take something and add it to your own content and make it your own, right? So like an aspect of a character or a trap from a dungeon, right? You don't just copy paste it one to one. That's not what I mean by stealing. But as a writer, you can take inspiration from something and then make it your own. That's what I'm getting at here. So my goal is to make this show such that I can go over this magazine with a fine comb and get as many little nuggets of inspiration as I can here, and get that into a digestible form for people to watch or listen to and get inspired.
Inspired. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I'm just trying to figure out a way to put this. My problem is that I think it's a good idea, but it's very hard to pitch it. Get
It's like a
inspired.
it's like a weekly kind of newsletter. What's going on in the world of dungeons and
No,
dungeoneering?
no, no, no. It's not a newsletter. Not at all. This is urgent news. As Dungeon Magazine is not a noon magazine. This is not news.
That's what it sounds like. I'm not even gonna lie.
All right, it's supposed to be coverage of this content, which contains stories and adventures, so that they can inspire your stories and adventures. There you go. Hopefully that makes sense.
It does.
But it's meant to be a resource, a jumping on point, an inspiration point, right?
Right.
And just a fun little resource where it's just like, okay, maybe you don't use every single one of these adventures and every single aspect of each of these adventures, but maybe every now and then you go like, oh yeah, didn't they have like a scrying pool in that what is it, third module in Dungeon Magazine #1? That sounds like a fun element to add into my campaign. I'm sure that over the course of the entire campaign, my players could do a lot of shenanigans with that, and that sounds like a fun framework to design my adventures around. So then maybe there's that, and some DMs just keep that in the back of their head, and someday they use it, someday they don't, right? I don't know. For right now, with zero audience, well, it's not zero, but with a low audience, I don't expect this to do numbers. But this is just something that I think will be ageless, and in the future, once an audience does find me, I think they'll rather appreciate this resource, right? I'm envisioning a future where I've got like 50 of these done, and people can just marathon them. As like background noise, or seek out specific videos to better understand the dungeon itself, right? Because I am going to be breaking down the dungeon and summarizing it and whatnot, and I think I'll be doing a good job. So if someone is prepping that specific element of that magazine, well, they might go and find this video and then go and watch that. So give them a good overview of what they're getting themselves into, right? So I don't know. There's a lot of different reasons I could see people enjoying this or happening upon it. Uh, so I think this is fine, but I think this is also going to be another one of those longer video projects.
Okay, so
There's a-
it's a video reference guide.
Yeah, it's multi-purpose, but that could be one of the purposes. Yes.
I like the sound of that.
The reason why I'm stumbling through it is because it's not something I can really break down into one category. It's half review, it's half educational, it's half just there for inspiration. It's half there for people to be able to prep with it. It's half there just for people to get exposed to it. Like there's a lot of moving parts here. There's a lot of reasons why people could watch this. So I don't know. I'm not comfortable defining it in like a single sentence. And hopefully that's something I grow to become more comfortable with. But for right now, I'm certainly not comfortable.
Activate Good
defining
Boy
it
Protocol. Sorry,
Good Boy Protocol.
I got a robot dog. Yeah.
Oh, in Destiny. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's all good. I just didn't know what was going on. There's nothing to apologize for. It's your stream, man. You gotta do your stream. That's about it.
So you're literally
so there's-
making an online video magazine. That's
Kinda. The magazine already exists. I'm covering it.
it whimpers every time I walk by. I gotta pet it.
Very good.
Sorry, I don't know if you're watching.
No, it's all good. I'm not watching because I know if I'm watching, I'll be very far behind stream. So I've learned not to do that. Because then I start yelling at you, and it turns out that happened like 10 seconds ago, and it's like, oh, okay, well, never mind then.
That's because they have enabled me to do this in Discord.
Well, there we go. All right, now I can watch you. There's the dog. All right. Yeah, that does look like a good robo dog. They have its little tongue hanging out and everything.
It really is like. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Damn it. I have a
Villain.
macro that controls my stream to Discord directly, and I think I need to turn it off because I've hit it 3 times now. All right, so that completes that.
Right.
That's
That's where my life is right now, anyways. Is I'm reading a lot and just editing a lot, or at least that's what this week ahead of me is gonna be. Something else I'd like to do though is finish going over like the monsters of Relict, and then just figuring out exactly what I would need to have to make it runnable, and then just write that myself and just apply it as a patch, right? So then I could start playtesting it. I know that it's not technically ready for playtesting, or at least not by us, but think of it like a boat, right? If you patch the boat can still float, and we can still see how those elements that aren't the patch function.
what I'm understanding is that you need more characters, and I can build them if you like.
No, the opposite of that. Characters are easy. What I need is more mechanics. I need to know how traps work. I need to know how exploration works. I need to know how stealth works, right? That's more the stuff I need to patch on, right? I need to know how the monsters work and how monster abilities work. That's the stuff I need to patch on. The player character stuff, we've got, in my opinion, enough of that, so long as you keep it to like maybe 3 PCs, right? And then the core rules seem fairly solid. It's just the exploration and dungeoneering rules and the combat rules, which you would need for to basically do the DM side of things. That's the stuff that I find lacking. But general storytelling things and NPCs, that's easy. That's stuff that I do all the time. I appreciate the offer, but no, that's something I've definitely got covered.
So what I'm hearing is I need to be a player for your playtest.
Yes. Yes, if you want to be involved with making a character, then yes, that's the best way to get involved there. So we'll see about that. I don't know if I'm gonna stream it or not. I still don't think I want to be doing streaming, but I know that like it's what the community wants, so maybe we'll see about that. But at least casually, yeah, you're definitely someone I would consider.
Yeah. I'm making the best character.
No, no, I don't like the way you said that.
She's gonna have all the oohs.
I will say hold off for now though, because I prefer to have people make their characters for the campaign itself. I mean, it's not gonna be a campaign, I guess. It's gonna be the one shot, right?
Yeah, one shot.
And then B, there's very few options, and so I prefer that you wait and make your character alongside the other, whoever the other two end up being, so that we make sure we're not like just making the same character 3 times, you know?
I get you. You know, I've made like
Um,
4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found out with my first 2, I failed at the total player creation. There's a few things that I needed to actually add to those character sheets to make them uh, actually playable.
Hmm. See, I was very blessed in that I live streamed my little foray into the class system, and then the designer showed up for the live stream, so I got to pick his brain a little bit.
Oh, cool!
And that
Congrats for
certainly helped.
that.
Yep. So I understand how poison works now. It wasn't written anywhere, but apparently the poison does also apply the poisoned condition, which makes the poison so much more viable.
Yeah.
Because if it was just a poison counter clock, like unless you find a way to cheese, that's just not. It's just not worth it. Which he did say, oh, that cheese strat that I did come up with isn't supposed to be a thing. That is unbalanced. So he has since patched that.
So are you
So
giving
it's
me
a
are you giving me directive to go and break the poison? Because I
If
will.
you'd like to, sure. I'm not sure if it's possible. Well, it is possible, but I'm not sure if it's possible in a single one shot. Right? I guess it depends on what level we put us at. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling after I get through reading like the monster area and once I like apply my little patch, because it might not be possible. But from what I'm understanding, assuming the monster rules are already solid and where they need to be, I probably just need to apply like exploration and dungeoneering mechanics, which I can kind of do that. That's kind of already been what I've been doing, because that sure is an area that 5e does not handle well, that I've kind of already been applying anyways.
All right, then you already have a basis of what you want to do.
Yeah. So it shouldn't be that hard. Then it's just a matter of either finding an adventure that I can quickly adapt, or just making something up.
Uh, Making something that's always fun.
Yeah, we'll see.
But that's just me.
Yeah. It's all good. I'm just thinking now, because I wrote a lot of stuff for 5e that I can't really show off or share. And so I'm thinking, okay, what of that could I use? And I'm coming to the conclusion that I can't. And so I'm like, okay, well, I had this other project that I was working on that featured not exactly a mega dungeon, but certainly a more dense and traditional dungeon. I could try and go and finish that project up, but of course, instead write it system agnostic, and then just apply this relic stuff to it. Or I could actually just grab some of the stuff from Dungeon Magazine And two of those little modules were for lower levels. I'm sure I could adapt to those easily enough. And they were fine starting locations. You could actually combine multiple of them, or at least I could via creativity, not naturally. Naturally, no, they were not meant to be compatible, but I think I could make them work together. So maybe that's what I do, is I just go and create that Giga campaign, right?
I mean, why not? What?
Yeah.
Honestly, what's stopping you from doing it?
No, the time, the energy.
Uh,
It's something to consider at the very least. But yes, that's probably the quickest thing, because I'd be working off from a skeleton, which makes it a lot more approachable. My one concern, though, is that some of those dungeons are kind of a bit deadly looking. And I understand that was part of the deal back then in AD&D, but there's definitely a few tweaks I need to make here and there, which is concerning because I might not know how Relic is balanced enough to be able to make those judgment calls. But then again, Relic is also supposed to kind of be more deadly, is my understanding. So I mean, that might be fine anyway.
yeah. Well, we talked about this before. Like, this system isn't for those who are looking for, a trot in the park, so to speak.
Yeah. I can understand why Chris, there we go. I was about to say Nost, but I forget. I should call him Chris. All right. I can get why Chris is focusing so much on the classes, because the way his class system works, you kind of do need to have a ridiculous amount of class options, since you're effectively grabbing 3 classes per character, and players don't like to double up when possible. So in order to make sure they're not doubling up, they kind of need to have a ridiculous amount of options.
Oh, did he say anything about the field medic class that I sent him?
It's his current project. My assumption is it'll be out within the next couple days. At the rate he's going. I think he's been sick this week though, so I know that rate has been slow going. But it's my understanding that it's seen a lot of work, and it's also gotten some last minute feedback from some of the community. I think yesterday. So between that, I assume it's close to its initial release. No real promises to exactly when it's gonna come out and get work done, but he did say that the antiquarian class is now moved up on the timetable quite a bit. So it seems as though my little document was helpful, so that feels good.
What's good?
Yeah. I'd like to get to the point where I can play this system myself. The Blink Mage looks like a blast. I would love to play the Blink Mage. There's so much shenanigans you can do with it. My one complaint about it is it doesn't have anything offensive baked into it. It's just a bag of tricks. So if you're in a scenario that does not call for your creativity, it's basically useless. That being said, you do have like base proficiencies in all sorts of different weapons. So you could just, still just grab those weapons and not dump might and be good to go. Or grab precision and a bow, and it's just, I blink to the top of the cliff and then I snipe at you. So it's not as though like it can't be offensive. It's just the ways in which it's offensive don't come from its class. Its class is just a bag of tricks, right? That's why I think that its best combo would probably be with the Knight, personally, because that would give it its bag of offensive tricks. It also would allow it to tank, which being able to do your blink around stuff and tank would be a very nice way to support the party. But we'll have to see where it ends up in its final release and what sort of combos there are with other classes. At least thematically, I'm going with Assassin as a secondary class because I think it'd be fun to make like a Blink Mage Assassin for the example character.
I was actually with the Blink Mage. I was actually going to see if there was a Ranger type.
There's definitely meant to be. Eventually, we're going to get the scout class, which is my understanding is meant to be a bit of a ranger type of class. But do you mean ranger as in like a survivalist who's good at survival knowledge, or do you mean ranger as in I use a bow? 'Cause those are two
Ranger
very
as
different things.
a, I can go from bow to pistol.
Okay, okay, got it. So ranger is in a ranged unit. We don't really have anything that focuses that, and I'm not sure we will anytime soon. That being said, there are like ranged weapons in the game, so you could just use one of those.
Yeah, but I kind of want a class that's specifically designed for said uh, that gains bonuses out of it, not like a warrior class, which is Derek. Remember 231?
Which? No, I don't remember 231. What's 231?
It's the puzzle that I'm doing right now.
Oh, it's in game. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were meant to launch into like an example, and you're using it as a reference point. Remember 231? No, I don't remember 231. What's 231? What is this example?
Sorry, no, it's a puzzle part, and I fucked it up by being as.
Oh, okay. Was that the 231 puzzle?
Yeah.
You fucked it up despite me saying it multiple times in confusion.
No, I jumped over a part that wasn't supposed to be touched, and it
Is
registered.
it still 231 or did the puzzle reset?
I just got to get to one now.
Oh.
And I fucking did it again!
I don't know.
It's fine. It's fine. This is fine. Tag. There it goes. No, I do that to Leo all the time. Leo, remember this number, and I don't really need him to remember the number.
It's all good. I get it. But yeah, that's where my brain is. It's currently in tabletop mode. I've got a lot of some video editing and filming to do, and I don't know why, but I know that I'm gonna enjoy it once I get there because I've enjoyed the past few times. But for right now, I think it's some kind of manic depression, man. I think there's just some weeks where I'm just on top of the fucking world, and I think that I'm probably going towards one of those weeks where I'm not. But I think I can work through it.
You can.
And
I
if
believe
not,
you
I'll
can.
try and find something at least semi-productive, which will probably end up being working on Pokemon. There's a ridiculous amount of lore, like deep lore that they added in Scarlet and Violet that implies what we'll say not necessarily ancient history, but like the past. And they've also added like a fun new time travel mechanic to play around with. Not in game, right? But for a writer like me to play around with is what I meant. So there's a lot of fun little things you could do with the lore in terms of creating like a setting, and creating stories in it. So I think what I want to do is create one. Well, if I'm being honest, it'd probably balloon into 4 different time periods. But I'm gonna try and keep it to just 2. I think it'd be fun to write Paldea as it was in the past, as a campaign setting. And then there's a lot of different fan-made Pokemon TTRPG systems out there. I'm already familiar with 2 of them at the very least. It might be fun to look into those various systems and then try and Frankenstein together one that suits my purposes, and then run a Pokemon TTRPG in
I
that,
would love to do that. I
Paldea
honestly
past.
would.
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be a blast, and it seems like it'd be a fun project for me to write and whatnot. It's just that's very much a pleasure project that I don't think I can launch a channel off of with the current direction I'm going. I don't think there's gonna be enough overlap between that and the other TTRPG stuff I'm doing. But we'll see there. So I kind of I want to work on it, but also I know that it would be very irresponsible, and I shouldn't do that right now. But that being said, I do know that when I reach certain breakpoints, I do need to have like projects I'm actually enthused about, even if they are technically a waste of time. I know that in the long run they're not, and I have this whole thing with myself where I argue with myself about efficient use of time, and I stress out about that kind of stuff. And I know that in the long run, I'm working hard and everything's fine. But sometimes I don't feel as though I am, and it can be very hard to argue with myself and be like, no, you are.
By the way, that's on sending pitting anxiety to a panic attack, by the way. Do you know how I know this? Because I just went through it.
I'm good.
It sucks.
I think I regularly avoid the panic attacks then, or they're very minor, or or I just got used to them. This is a pretty normal cycle for me. But yeah, no, I definitely have some kind of, at least minor anxiety problem. I don't know. At some point in time, I'd like to be able to get some of that stuff looked at, but it's not a right now thing.
Well, I got your back, dude. Don't worry.
Yep. But I think I'll be good to go. I've got some goals in place, and that tends to help me. The past few weeks have both been good, because I also got like that uptick of the manic depression, right? But also I sure didn't have a plan, so that was a bit stressful. Right now though, I've got that plan, right? I'm gonna make that video, and then I'm going to finish that script and then make that other video, and probably stream some Pokemon and stuff along the way. I'm gonna make that patch for Relic and hopefully get to the point where I can start prepping that and then running that. Because I haven't run stuff in a long time now. I was going to be running some stuff, and then this OGL thing happened, and I don't know. I know there's nothing stopping me from running 5e, but it's soured on me, and I don't want to do it. So, ideally, applying a patch to Relic will at least let me run that. Otherwise, I need to go learn Pathfinder 2e. It's my understanding that's where everyone's at right now.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind running Pathfinder, or playing Pathfinder. It's just not me.
I mean, you know what I really want to learn and run? World of Darkness, man. I want to run Vampire the Masquerade. That sounds like so much fun. I mean, I prefer to play it, but like also, that's not always like a viable thing. So I end up running it. It's just such a different flavor.
It really is.
Mage the Ascension looks like it could be a lot of fun too. I might look into that.
Contacting Destiny 2 servers.
The Ghosty Goo ones. Their lore looks very interesting, but I don't think I want to run a campaign for it. But Mage or Vampire, I could probably come up with something. My one concern is I'm not street smart when it comes to big cities. Like, I know how to get on the bus and I know how to walk to work. That's about it. All like the other bits about like nightlife and parties and whatnot, which you kind of need to run certain types of vampire campaigns. Like I just don't know. So what I think I'd end up needing to do is go to my comfort zone, and instead of going to these big cities where you have all this drama and politics and whatnot, which I love, and those are the type of campaigns I'd normally want to run for this, instead I should probably have it take place a bit more in the wilderness, right? In like
Which
a
you
more
can.
rural area. Yeah. It'll be lower stakes, probably more personal stakes, rather than like big coterie type vampire politics, war for the city type stakes. So I don't know. I've got some ideas. I got some schemes, but for right now, I just don't know enough about the setting. Well, that's not true. I know enough about the setting, but I think you get what I mean. But yeah, exploring systems like that is probably something I'd like to do. But at the same time, I also can't overcommit to stuff. There's been some interesting emails I've been getting. I don't want to talk on it, but I know that I need to keep myself flexible in case I get brought in on certain projects.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes.
Just let me know if you need some help with something.
Yeah, I will. You're already doing that. Just let me ramble and hopefully walk away with a better understanding of my current situation, which already helps a lot. I don't know, the only problem about it is I feel bad, because, like, well, my life is currently just work, and I feel bad about just talking about that all the time, and I wish I had something a bit more lighthearted to talk about. I guess Pokemon counts as lighthearted. Yeah, I talked about Pokemon. We're good to go. I've met my lighthearted quota. We're fine. Anyways, I'm gonna go fill up my water bottle and get some soup. I'll be back in, I don't know, a minute or two. Okay, I'm almost back. Give me just a moment to sit down.
Welcome. Oh, welcome. I'm dead.
Okay, got my earbuds in. Very good, don't die. Good job. You didn't die. Yeah, that's fucking punished immediately. Just eat this soup and make that blink mage. Where's my notes?
Damn it.
No. There's only joy here. That is a big robot.
It is.
Tell me about the lore for the robot, Az.
It's called a brig. It's used by the Fallen for invasions. And it was first appearance happened back in Beyond Light. And it's one of the more difficult enemies to take care of because it has shield over its crit spot.
Alright then. Follow-up question. What are the Fallen and what is Beyond Light?
They're also known as the Elixni. The Elixni were a alien race that were first induced by the Traveler, which makes Guardians.
Okay, so Moon Daddy made these people and now they're bad guys?
Good and bad. The Traveler abandoned them. So they
So
sought
Moon
back to
Daddy
get
was a
their...
neglectful father, and they got spiteful, and now they're rebellious teenagers.
Yeah.
Very good.
Actually sums it up pretty well.
Oh, speaking of abandonment issues, I do want something fun from Dungeon Magazine that I really liked. There's this wizard tower that got not toppled, but tipped by a dragon, and then people died in the debris, right? And so there's this wizard and his bodyguard in there, and the bodyguard had a magic sword, an ego weapon that has like personality and whatnot. And that sword's just kind of been there by itself for over 120 years. And so when the players find it, it's developed some pretty extreme abandonment issues. Like, it wasn't abandoned, like its master died, right? But like, still. So
Same thing.
it's very clingy and refuses to be separate and like from the party and left alone. So it will scream loudly if you like ever just leave it by itself in a room and like beg you to bring it with you and whatnot. This includes even for short periods of time, such as when you're bathing, right? So this weapon wants to be with you all the time, 24/7. It wants to be next to your bed. It wants to be with you in the bath. Like this is a very clingy weapon, which I rather like. It also is apparently afraid of the dark now. So it's constantly has the light effect going. Like, it refuses to shut its light effect off.
I like it.
It implies that you could put it in a scabbard to kind of get around that. For the most part, the light's not going to travel outside of that scabbard. Outside of maybe like a little crack at the very top of it. So it's definitely workable, right? The intention is that this is still a very useful and powerful weapon that the party still wants to use and keep around. But it's still very funny that, like, you effectively have this traumatized sword that, like, occasionally is a bit bratty about things.
I feel bad for it.
Yeah. I thought it was a fun weapon, and it's got a fun personality, and as a DM, I would love to roleplay this sword.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I would want to own this sword.
Yeah, it's a good sword. I like this sword. But it's stuff like this that it's just like, oh yeah, as a DM you could absolutely steal that, and or like that basic premise at the very least, and then make that sword your own for like any sort of modular campaign.
I want the sword. It's a baby. It needs to be protected.
I mean, it's not a baby, and I certainly would play it like a baby. But yes, it definitely. It has some hang-ups that it's not good at coping with. That's how I'd put it.
I can understand abandonment issues.
Mm-hmm.
It's my spirit sword.
It's my spirits. It is a plus 3 longsword that also has some minor spellcasting capabilities. Like, it's a legitimately good weapon.
Not overpowered.
They get it somewhere. I want to say that I think the module was made for like levels 7 to 10. That sounds right. So
Okay.
at that point in time, it's probably balanced. I don't know how AD&D is balanced. Like for 5e, yeah, I think it'd be unbalanced. If you were just like taking it 1-to-1, like a plus 3 ego weapon with spellcasting capabilities, like that seems like some level 12 plus type stuff. But maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know. It really just depends on your table. But then also back then, giving your players powerful loot like wasn't that big a deal. That's kind of the entire reason why they were playing the game for the most part. So, and like that kind of was balanced by effectively the the system not necessarily being all that balanced in the first place. There's a lot of things that will just kill the party. So a handful of really good loot,
Like that.
to rebalance things, yes, in their favor, is definitely a good thing, in my opinion, anyway. And to a degree, that's also kind of how I treat 5e as well. Is just like early campaign balance does matter a little bit because you can balance it, but past early game it's just a matter of just like, okay, well, what do the players want to do? Do they want to go and fight foes that could be too powerful for them? Well, that's fine, so long as they go adventuring and find some magic weapons first, or they come up with a clever plan, that kind of thing. So I don't tend to balance like the mid and late areas of my campaign because it's just like, well, the players are going to do what they want, and I can't really account for that. And also, I don't feel like I should. I think the players should be able to get themselves in over their head, and that running is a valid option. So, I don't know. Not everyone likes that kind of table, but that's my table anyway. Everyone's like, everything needs to be perfectly balanced, and you're not allowed to kill me. And it's like, well, no, fuck off. I'm never gonna try and kill you. That's my promise. But it happens, and I can't live under that kind of pressure and still like design a satisfying experience. But we've talked about this in the past, and you seem to have been on board with that kind of philosophy.
Oh yeah. I want my players to have fun, not be drowned by like
Yep.
systematical bullshit.
Yep. Because if you really want to create scenarios where it's impossible for your characters to die, well, you're probably not going to be going on adventures.
No,
Are you falling to your death? Yep, falling to your death. Yeah.
I didn't jump high enough.
I don't know. To me, a good campaign needs stakes, and stakes means.
Oh my
you
god, I
need to be
did
ready
it! Fucking again!
Yep. You need to be ready to kill your players.
I'm okay with player killing, as long as it can be justified.
Exactly.
And we've talked about that before.
Yeah. My general rule of thumb, if you're killing a PC per session, you're probably doing something wrong, or your PCs are doing something wrong, and you should probably talk to them about that. But if like it's the occasional death, or if they get in over their head and they know they're in over their head and they still choose to try anyways, like high risk, high reward type stuff, and they took that gamble and they're okay with that, then it's totally fine if they die in that scenario, right? So long as they have agency and choice in the matter. But if it's just like you ambushed them with a lich and they had no way of knowing that lich was there and they were level 5, right? Then like, yeah, no, that's not kosher.
Oh, that'll never be kosher.
Yeah. But usually when it comes to like having a powerful villain that the players might stumble upon without really intending or having any kind of warning signs, oftentimes you can just, be a good writer as a DM and just have them have a reason not to kill the party immediately. And then it becomes a roleplay scenario. Perhaps one even where they end up serving that high-level dragon or lich for a time in exchange for their life, right?
Yeah.
Which then could allow them to interact with this villain, which is a very good thing, because
Or
eventually
become
when they have
villains
to go out
themselves.
and kill it. That's fair. It could just turn into a villain campaign. Maybe they discover, you know what? Yeah, we've been going about this all wrong. We like this. We get paid if we do this. Our Lich Daddy takes good care of us. Right? So maybe there's that kind of thing going on. But anyways, my point is that, like, in my opinion, if you're a good DM, balance doesn't fucking matter. What matters more is writing and how good you are at it, and how good you are at, like, predicting what the players will do and corralling them. And in the cases where they're not corralled, that's fine too. If they end up getting themselves killed because they went and did something that you didn't predict, and now they've totally fucked with the balance and pacing, and they've sped run the dungeon, so to speak. That's fine. I don't feel like you necessarily need to go and redesign that floor on the fly. I think you can keep it overpowered, and they'll realize that and be like, oh, okay, maybe we should come back with a magic item, right? Or with a few more levels, that sort of thing. Which can be both good and bad, because it can kind of kill the pacing at times. Like, for example, the campaign I'd started running for you, Leo, Pav, and Jake, right? You guys went in that dungeon, like, had that first encounter, and was just like, nope, fuck this shit, and left.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because from your perspective, it was brutal, but also from my perspective, you were being babies, and it really wasn't that bad.
I'm glad you thought it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I know I did.
Like, it was two cultists. That was it. I mean, they weren't default cultist stat blocks, but it was like two cultists in the entryway, and you're just like, all right, well, I guess we're leaving now that we've killed the two cultists in the entryway. It's just like, well, the player doesn't know what else is in this dungeon, but I do, and I know that it's fine, and everything is a-okay. But they don't know that, so it's like, fair enough. From their perspective, they're expecting this to be in every single room, and I guess if that is their assessment, then and if they do indeed think that that was too brutal of an encounter, then so be it. So it can backfire, right? But by and large, it's okay. Because then as a DM, your job is to get over that, which I did. I got over it, like, immediately, and it's like, okay, well, let's see what other kind of places they can explore. And so you guys went to town, and you explored other options. You settled on going flower picking. And then that allowed me to introduce what was going on in that particular biome. And that was ramping up to become its own little adventure.
I really wanted to continue that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know
it is what it is.
Yeah.
I did too, but also, like, the campaign had problems, and then Jake dropped it. It's just like, okay, well, I guess that's that. I'll probably still run in that region, though. That's for certain. I put too much effort into it. It's a good little region. My problem is it won't be anytime soon, because I probably have to wait till I'm proficient enough with Two-Finder, or until either Relict or Kobold Press's little project gets farther along. So that's probably what I should do, is I should probably finish covering Relics, or at least do a little bit more coverage of Relic. And finish the Dungeon Magazine video. And then from there I should probably do like just a week of streaming where I go and look into Pathfinder and I try and familiarize myself with it. By that I mean Pathfinder 2E. I'm familiar with Pathfinder 1E. I don't like it. If I was going to run that, I think I'd prefer 3.5. I know that sounds like heresy. It's like, oh, but why would you want to do that? There's less content. Well, that's exactly why.
Exactly.
There's less content, and I feel like it's a more balanced system.
Well, less content also emulates for more custom scenarios,
Hmm.
and not a lot of turn in there.
I just find Pathfinder to be overwhelming in terms of the amount of stuff the players have as options, and it can also make the table kind of feel bad and toxic, in my opinion. Because there's some players who are just like, no, exploiting things and making like the most busted and powerful build is part of the game, right? That's what the system's built for. You've got all these feat options, you've got all these class options, and oh, they combine in all these fanciful ways. And like that's the entire reason why they like Pathfinder is to be fucking build gremlins, right? But then the problem with that is that if you aren't a build gremlin and you don't want to, just copy paste someone else's powerful build they posted online or something like that, then that means that they do need to put in the hundreds of hours necessary to go and research and make their own build to that tier of play. Otherwise, the party gets very, very unbalanced and it can feel terrible. And you're just like, oh, that's not a big deal. You're just being a whiny little bitch baby. And it's like, well, no, I've been on the receiving end of that, where I just wanted to play a character for fun, and I had a bunch of build grunguses in the party, and it's not fun. It's actually not fun.
Ugh, I hate those days. Like I used to be one.
Yeah. So either you need to find a Pathfinder group where everyone's on the same page, where they're just like, okay, yes, we could go and research build Grungus stuff, and we could make this nonsense, but instead we're gonna keep to like more traditional and like more balanced fantasy builds and fantasy characters, right? Which can work well if you've got the right group, but my problem is that I've found that as far as Pathfinder is concerned, those players are not the norm. They are the exception. The overwhelming majority of Pathfinder players are absolutely down to clown with the build Grungus and the shenanigans. Which is great. Like, if you found your system, keep at it. So it's why I don't like shit talk Pathfinder. I recognize that it's not for me as a DM, and it's rarely for me as a player. Like once I have my build, then it's fun, and then it's just a matter of, okay, DM, give me my next level so that my next little build thing can come online. So like I get the build Grungus mentality. Like I have a lot of fun doing the build Grungus stuff once I get far enough into it. It's not approachable, so it's not something I'd ever run as a DM because I wouldn't want to force that upon my players. Or I guess not force it, but heavily incentivize it. And yeah, okay, force it would be the correct term for it. I don't think there's any way around it. Unless I was going out of my way to curate and the experience and say, you can use these exact books and these exact options in these books. But in order for me to be able to do that, I would then need to, know those books. And most of us don't really use books for that system. We just use the SRD. Which for Pathfinder is literally everything, including third party. So, I don't know. It'd be kind of weird to gate the content, which is probably why so many DMs don't even bother. But Pathfinder 2e supposedly is a lot more balanced, and at the very least, from what I played of it during the playtest, it seemed like a solid system. If it turned out at all like it was in that playtest, I think we'll be fine. My one concern is that they didn't go that route, because I have heard people say, it's just like 5e, and it's like, well, hold the phone. The playtest was not at all like 5e, so that's concerning to me, because to me it communicates that they did not stick to their guns. That what I liked about the playtest might not be there anymore. Because what I liked about it was that it wasn't like 5e. So I don't know. I'm concerned now. I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy it or not. Because I've had multiple people try and sell me on it by saying it's just like 5e, and it's just like that's not actually what I wanted to hear. So I don't know if they were just lying to me, or if the playtest was just like, yeah, people don't like this, so we're just gonna make it 5e, and then the actual thing is 5e. I don't know. There's nothing stopping me from hacking back in the mechanics from the playtest I liked. So maybe I do that. But that's also a lot of work. So, I don't know. We'll see. There's nothing to it but to do it. But I've got like 2 other projects I gotta get done first. Oh, speaking of Pokemon though, I did get a copy of Pokemon X pretty cheap off from eBay, so I will be replaying through that. Because if Paldea is Spain, and it looks as though it connects via land to the northeast, Spain is connected to France through the northeast, and Kalos is supposed to be France. There's also a reference to a merchant from the east, right? Which of course would be a merchant from France. In this case, a merchant from Kalos. Also, Kalos has lore where it was at war with another region and fired a death laser at some point in time in the past. And one of the fan theories that I've rather adopted is that there's a possibility that death laser could have resulted in the crater in the middle of Paldea. I need to look at like the timeline. That's why I want to replay X, is to see what kind of like what sort of lore I can mine from there, and whether or not I can confirm or work with that with some of my my theories before I make them canon to my little setting, that kind of thing. But that's definitely something that I'm keen to do, is do a lore playthrough for X and Y after I finish up Scarlet, which still needs to be done. I don't know. I'm kind of putting it off because I got way too into the writing and world building last time, and I know that if I do that, that's just gonna I'm at risk of going down a rabbit hole that could last multiple weeks. And at this point in time in my life, that's not something I can do. So we'll see. But at the very least, that's something I'll be doing. I don't know if
I'll be able to watch that.
Yeah. It'll also be fun to revisit X and Y. It was actually a pretty good game. Like, the rival was very boring. But outside of that, like, I liked it. I think it's solid. I think the haters can go get bent.
I never actually got to play X and Y.
Well, didn't sucks to suck, man.
I wanted to. I wanted to.
Now, if you have the resources to obtain a 3DS and obtain a copy, it's not quite hit that point of nostalgia where it's super expensive. You could probably get it for around $30, maybe a little bit less. And I don't have it set up yet, but there is a way to stream footage from your 3DS to your computer without requiring like the input of a chip. There was some way to exploit that. I don't remember if it was on all versions or just the extra large though, but at the very least I got an extra large to do it on. So if you wanted to stream it, what I'm getting at, pardon me, is you could stream it pretty easily. You don't need a fancy graphics card or any sort of chip inside your 3DS. Something to consider. But then again, you don't seem like you're the Pokemon streamer type of guy. So.
I'm not. I may be doing Pokemon Infinite Fusion.
Fair. I saw Leo play a little bit of that. It looks fun. I've seen another homie that's local show me a few of their mon. It looks good. I don't know. Some of it looks a bit rough. I think I'm gonna wait like maybe 5 years or so, and then maybe I play it.
These motherfuckers got some arms, bro.
He do be throwing. Ah, excellent. Okay. My soup has cooled down enough. I will no longer be talking. Farewell.
No, it's okay.
No, I'm still here. It's just I got food in my mouth, so. Don't suck, as. No dying.
Dude, I am trying my best.
Quick question.
What's up?
If I were to start getting you talking, would that break your sorry, would that distract you too much? Break your concentration. There we go.
No,
And
no.
cause you to not play this game very well?
The content that I'm doing currently is really fucking hard.
Alright. I'll let you concentrate then. That's what I figured, and that's why I was talking my ass off. Figured I'd let you just focus on the gameplay.
Yeah, apologies if anybody's watching. I'm just on a silent raid. I like how you can track me while I'm invisible. Piece of shit game.
Maybe I just say screw using the griddler. I just regularly make soup for a while. But just some damn good soup. It hits that sweet spot of cooking, right? Where it doesn't take an eternity compared to the amount of meals it gives me. This took me like, I want to say, less than an hour to make.
Ooh.
I don't know. And it's 3 meals. So that's pretty good. I mean, it's not as good as like 10 minutes, but which is what I had before. But it's still fine and probably worth it. Yeah, because it's also that 10 minutes isn't factoring the time it makes to form the hamburgers and put salt in them and whatnot in the first place. Which is like an hour or more ordeal. I don't know. This is probably fine. It's a bit of a time loss, but this is probably fine. It's not like I can always be on anyways, in terms of effort. There are some times where I do need to waste some time.
Oh, that's it. Finally.
Going?
Yeah, I went a little too hard.
Good job, Ash.
Oh, fuck my
Are you
eyes.
winning, son?
I'm winning, Dad. No, my eyes fucking hurt right now. Oh,
Well, tell them to stop. And don't forget to say please.
stop, please.
Very good.
Time to go see Banshee. Oh. The one thing I absolutely love, I love about that mission is because it gets me going really, really, really hard.
Hunga chunga, hunga chunga.
But in the same sense, like it starts hurting my eyes because I'm looking at all the enemy influx. So my eyes are constantly dashing back and forth.
The time for eye strain is upon us. Ho ho ho.
Pretty much.
A transaction to make, Guardian?
I think. Last year, sure go. Let's get you up to 87. Prolonged engagement, let's get you to 88. My tongue hurts again.
Let's get you
Oh,
back out
stop.
there.
But don't say please. This time the motherfucker deserves it.
Or one.
Good doggy.
Do I gotta go back here to the Enclave to do this? So I finally understand what the relic system meant by null and mage.
And mage is something from his book.
No,
It's like very anti-magic. Null is just someone that doesn't have magic.
yeah. So if you choose all three martial classes, you're a null.
You a null. That is something he said he clarified. Is that he took out what null was because the use of null because it's confusing people. So that's no longer on the website anymore.
Oh, it's not?
Yep. I mean, we basically just covered the exact reason why it's not.
I know.
It's because it's confusing. There was also like only one small little area of like developer note text that was basically saying that yeah, you could do like all marshals, but otherwise it seemed as though like the default rules was no, you do have a marshal and a caster, and then your third one can be either, right? Was what the default ruling appeared to be if you didn't read the fine print. Actually, let me go check and see how he's reformatted that. Oh, okay, yeah. He's done a good job of reformatting that. Choose 3 classes. Usually this means 1 martial class, 1 mage class, and 1 of either category, but this is not required. Yeah, that makes it very clear that you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yep.
And I know he also tweaked some stuff in the core. Not to that point where my video is entirely invalid yet, but it's getting there. That's not true. I don't think it'll ever be completely invalid. But I know he said he tweaked channeling, and I think it was first aid. If he did tweak first aid, I'm not seeing it. Half your knowledge score. All points removed must be the same damage type. Person cannot reduce targets. Oh, okay. He nerfed first aid. That's what he did.
Oh, how do you nerf first aid?
First aid cannot reduce the target's damage in a single type below 5. So at most you can heal down to 5 damage of any single type.
Okay.
Which, considering that that first threshold is somewhere around 5. Wait a moment. No, the first threshold's usually at 5. Never mind, that's fine. That's not that big a deal.
No.
That's a pretty minor nerf. And then I need to reread channel. Because I liked the way it worked before. It was crunchy, but I liked the way it worked before.
Crunchy?
I'm not sure if you can still do the nonsense I was wanting to do with it before. Which might be for the best, because that was one of the things he says that I never even thought about that as a capability. So maybe that's what's going on, is that wasn't something he wanted people to be able to do. It's like, but I thought it was a cool mechanic and I wanted to do it. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, so it's still in action. It increases your magic region. Okay. Which of course procs on your next recovery step.
Right.
You did clarify round down. That's good, because that was something that was not there before that I had to ask about on Discord. So that's clarified in my video, so we're good to go there. But at least as far as, like, to people not watching the video, just reading this, that wasn't clear. Anyways. Oh, okay. Got it. While channeling, the mana capacity increases by half the character's level. That's new. If a creature moves for any reason after begins channeling or takes an affliction, the channeling fails and does not gain the additional mana during its next recovery. Okay. Oh, and it's no longer ticking up by 1 per consecutive turn. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, this really got changed. It still has that ether burn mechanic to it. But now that things don't, like, escalate and you get, like, +1 per round that you were channeling, now that's a lot less likely to happen, especially considering that you also get an increased capacity on those rounds where you channel as well. Oh, never mind. Okay. It grants an additional half of its mana regeneration. So the mana burn is still very relevant if you had, like, low fortitude but high willpower.
Okay.
Then the mana burn suddenly becomes a lot more relevant. It also makes your willpower score a lot more relevant, because before you didn't necessarily need high willpower, because you could make up for that by channeling, and just continuing to channel so that it would escalate turn by turn by turn, and you get those increases. But those increases are no longer there, and I believe the math got reworked a little bit. I might be incorrect there. But now that it's more tied to willpower and you don't have that kind of escalation mechanic, it does mean that if you have low fortitude and high willpower, you do run some risks while channeling. Which is kind of mitigated a little bit by also increasing your cap, which will be kind of hard to track. I don't know. I'm on the fence here. It seems like he got rid of some of the crunch, but in doing so, he's also added in some more crunch and complications.
Okay. Explain.
I just did. I don't want to do it again. How do I put this quickly then? So, there's elements he removed that were crunchy, and in doing so, he increased the crunchiness in other areas. That's as simple as I could put it. Short of it is, having high ability scores is now much more important for channeling. That's an unintentional, or possibly unintentional side effect. Maybe that was the intention. I don't know. He hasn't rewarded climbing, but he did add a note saying that it's under review for simplicity. Work in progress. Okay. Fair enough. And then I think he tweaked fall damage was the other thing he said. Oh yeah, yeah, he's really tweaked fall damage. It's a lot more deadly now. Well, that's not true. Smaller falls are a little more deadly now. That medium falls kind of the same. I think they changed the damage die from 2d4 to 1d8, which means the low end average has gone down, but you still have that potential for that high end damage. It's good as.
Oh.
You fucking noob. Look at you. Look at you. You stupid nerd crown.
He really is. 5 more champions this done.
I don't remember if he said. Let me actually just check the server. I'm an idiot. What? I don't remember if he changed counterspelling or not. My gut was saying he did, but he might not have. Oh yeah, yeah. Here's the assassin update notes. this was 100% because of me. Assassin's secondary stat is now cleverness. Yep, thank you. Updated Fate of Damocles and Wrecking Woe Assassin poison descriptions to remove some abuse/cheese cases. Oh no, not my cheese.
You fucked up, Al. You fucked up.
What do you mean I can't 2-round the boss with poison counters anymore? Clarified that having a poison counter equals having a poison condition. Thank you. Alright. Looks like he tweaked some of the minor/major stamina/mana calculations for some of the classes. So I need to go recalculate that for Billy. Removed requirement for mixing of mage and martial. Okay, yeah, we've already gone over that. Remove callouts for casters and nulls. Baked into the above now. Keep it simple. Very good. He also did that for the core rules. Counterspelling now reads, characters must be able to cast spells to use counterspell, instead of specifying no nulls or in mages. That's fair. Because people could homebrew in other things that aren't those two things, but that can't cast spells, perhaps. So you do need to be able to cast spells to counterspell, which is good. 4 rules update. First aid section. Oh, okay. I remember what he removed now. Yeah, no, that's fair. Now it just can't heal above 5. That is a better way to simplify that. He does say that the field medic he's working on has some mechanics that may work around that, though. So that's cool. That some of the more healer-based class, their first aid will see improvements. I mean, which makes sense, right? Let's see. Channeling. Yeah, channeling got simplified. I don't know if I like it or not. It's definitely a different dynamic than it was before. But it seems like the design intention was for it to not work that way that it was working, so. Let's see. Falling damage, yep, and then climbing is much progress. Okay, so that's it. There's nothing else changed here. Okay. That's not bad. I'm not allowed to be tired already. What in the world?
Why are you tired?
What is Oxa?
How long have I been awake? Like, probably only an hour or so.
Questions for another day, I suppose. But for now,
No, that's not true. I've been sitting here chatting with you for probably over an hour by now.
Almost an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't need to be cracking an energy drink this early in the day. Come on, body. What's your problem?
It's winter time. I want to hibernate. What's wrong with have some hibernation? No, no hibernate. I want to hibernate.
All right, let's go ahead and grab my Titan stuff off the season pass.
Rasputin, the War Mind. The most powerful artificial intelligence humanity ever created. With an arsenal to match. Thousands of war sets, primed to obliterate any and all threats to humanity. But when the greatest threat of all arrived, it nearly tore Rasputin apart. I saved the pieces of him that I could, encrypted them in a specialized engram. I've been trying to restore him in an experimental exoframe, but every attempt I've made has failed.
Okay. Now I need to sip before it gets cold.
All of his
And I
weaponry
brought down a
is
concentrate.
and it's only a matter of time before his war sets fall into the wrong hands.
For the most part, all my stuff in the video is still relatively relevant. The only thing is that channeling got changed, and channeling was a section I talked on pretty extensively.
Seems like he's taken a lot from your videos.
Yeah. Which was good when it came to Assassin. I'm not sure if it's good when it comes to channeling. I'm on the fence there. Everything else has been good changes, but I liked channeling. This is still fine though. It's still dynamic and whatnot, and it's no longer like the clutch play, high risk, high reward thing that it used to be. It's now a little bit both more viable and less viable.
Hey Guardian, thanks for tagging
I'd say
along.
overall less
We're gonna go
viable.
have a chat with
I don't
Chris about Rasputin.
I don't see you needed to channel very often.
Anna, like old times.
Osiris, you seeing this? Perimeter defense is tripped.
It also takes away entirely that risk reward mechanic of continuing to channel so that your bonus doesn't get reset, because that bonus no longer exists anymore.
Guardian locks a transmat signal for us.
Also, so long as you don't dump fortitude with a base boosted willpower, you don't have to worry about the ether damage as well. So there's just a lot of risk taken out, but there's also a lot of the reward taken out as well. So now it's just an option, which is okay. nothing too impressive. I don't know. I think it's probably fine. I think it's probably for the best. I'm just being a Debbie Downer.
I'm sure it'll be fine, man.
Yeah. But I probably should go to the description of my video and add that. Oh, beyond just the YouTube side of things, there are some things I need to figure out on the streamer side of things, and then I probably will make a new community Discord server.
Okay.
Because there was some people in chat asking for it, and it probably would be for the best. I don't know. I just didn't want to deal with that. Wow.
Then don't do it.
But I should do it. Just because I don't want to do something isn't a good reason not to do it.
Well, it's your shit, man.
Yeah, I know. But because it's my shit, I need to do it. Oh, I need to rename this to Stream 3. We can remove the tip jar. That only matters during live streams. Very good. And then, what was the other thing I needed to do? Oh, yes, videos. Relics. Then we'll add an extra line here. Update. As of, and then what's this date? This date is yesterday. Okay, but what date is yesterday? Alright, whatever. We'll just say as of 1/22/23. Minor. Sorry. There were minor updates to the core, which doesn't invalidate this coverage yet.
When the greatest threat of all arrived, it nearly tore Rasputin apart.
Not doesn't. But not enough to invalidate this coverage yet, with the exception of channeling. That now works quite differently.
Savathun couldn't conceal every thought.
It's no longer a risk/reward clutch play with escalating.
Hey Guardian, thanks for tagging along. We're gonna go have a chat with Clovis.
Sorry, incrementing numbers
Osiris,
with
say
an
hi.
incrementing
Like old times.
number.
Osiris, you seeing this? Perimeter defense is tripped. They've never done that. I don't think Clovis is trying to kill us, but
It's now
We should keep our
just
distance
a
until the Guardian
fairly
plots a transmat signal.
tame thing you can do. Fairly tame, we'll say optional thing you can do. Alright.
Turn to orbit.
Just read it. It'll be fine. All right, we can save that.
That's 82, 70, 68, 65.
I need to go and comment on this video. So let me go view on YouTube. Scroll down. Dismiss. I don't want YouTube TV for free. Add comment. Wow. There we go. No! No sorrowful sigh. Forbidden.
Sorry for stop talking.
No, that's fine.
Just trying to get this done as quickly as I can.
It's your stream, man. If you want to sit in silence, I mean, that's an option. It always depends on your audience. Because some people, they do come by for, like, skill, right? So maybe your Destiny skills by themselves are enough.
Thank you for the praise.
I don't know if you're actually good at this game or not. You
No,
think I
I'm
understand
horrible.
what you're doing? Yeah.
Contacting Destiny 2 servers.
No. Yo, mama. Got him.
Come on. Ow.
There we go. See if I aggroed any Makama stands. Okay. Hop back up on Discord and hop back up on YouTube. Still no fancy email. Oh, I should probably update Patreon. I don't know if people actually have been checking it out or not, but it's fine. I like to try and like little messages, woo, saying what's going on.
I like the celestial bond. The head's throwing me off though. I need to change that.
Oh no. He's got a fox girl helmet.
I do. Maybe it's the color. Yes, Neopop.
Alrighty. It's a nice, short, and sweet.
Yep. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. I do appreciate it. If you're watching this later on, I hope today found you well, and I hope you leave a like, comment, subscribe to see any more content from me, and or Castlevania, Destiny 2, or Souls-like games. Derek, thanks for joining me from tail end. I appreciate it.
Very good.
And
goodbye, as his audience. Get fucked.
Thanks. I appreciate that. And y'all have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thanks for stopping by. And like always, see you the next